rock and roll. So it looks like we are now officially dead.
Oh, no.
Or alive, whatever. We're green. Okay, we're good.
Oh, look.
We're good. Yay. Hello to the two people that are currently watching, one of which is me. So, yeah. How should I start this?
The same way we usually do.
The same way we always start things, and I'm just not good at them. Welcome, heathens and witches. I had to scroll through like a bunch of startups there, guys. Don't worry. Welcome, heathens and witches, to the Horn
and Cauldron
Podcast. But this is live, so it's different.
Yeah.
Live cast.
Live cast? Live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live asked. You gotta drop the CR. None of that chromium up in this bitch. All flat metals. So, anywho, if you're listening to this in the podcast afterwards, or you're not here live, or whatever is going on, I'm John Norgrove. This is Julie Norgrove. We are the Horn and Cauldron Podcast, or whatever. And this is our 2-year anniversary.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. Wow.
Of being a people. So we've been
doing this thing.
We've been whole podcasters for 2 years. This is a pretty shock success that we're still doing this.
Yeah, especially after having a rough summer with it. We're looking forward to getting back to it. And you just are not a fan of it. I don't know why.
I'm just not into wine. It's not my favorite.
I don't know why you said you wanted to drink it.
Well, because it's fancy. Look how fancy it is.
I mean, you can have things that aren't wine that are fancy.
That's true. I do have that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll just enjoy this fancy Chateau Picard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Check this stuff out. So we decided to crack this guy open.
Star Trek.
So I'm a huge Trekkie, if that's not very obvious at this point in time. And so we cracked open the Chateau Picard, the Grand Vin de Bordeaux, Labare 2386.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's like a year made.
It's nothing too special.
Yeah, it's a Produit de France, my guy. So there you go.
But it has Picard's name on it, so
yeah. So
that's supposed to make it taste better, right?
Yep. I guess we should do like we're gonna vamp for a little while.
Yeah, then, normally I have notes for this.
Yeah, she likes to plan stuff, and we decided not to.
No, not at all.
So we're gonna do like one of these, and we're gonna get like a nice picture of the fireplace. Nope, we're gonna turn that around like an adult. And we're going to do like one of these, a little bit of this action, huh? We're going to just block your, there you go, block your cup.
Little bit of selfie action there.
Yeah, no, I look like I'm in the middle of talking, so that looks about right.
Yeah, Just finished my last minute flower crown just a little bit ago. And for those of you who are...
Oh, she can't see what she's doing.
I cannot see.
She doesn't understand the time dilation.
There we go. Finish this beautiful last-minute flower crown.
Yeah.
And it's light up, and I'm very much in love with it. I found these USB powered lights, so they don't take regular batteries. They're just USB charge.
Yeah, they're rechargeable lights.
Yeah.
That you charge via like a USB Type A or whatever.
Yeah.
And they hold power for like 10 hours. So we like got these and we're like, all right, we're gonna do like flower crowns for the Etsy shop. Oh yeah. Also, whatever. This is brought to you by our Etsy shop because that's my full-time job.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So we sell like art and like crafting supplies and like a bunch of stuff like that on
and like flower crowns
on Etsy. I'm sorry. She just like dipped bread into a butter tree. It was a whole thing I was not prepared for. So that took me slid out of reality for a second there. So we do like flower crowns, and we do like I sell like abstract pour paintings, and we also have like embroidery floss and like embroidery panels and like what was that, quilting panels and all sort of shenan like that. Thought I heard a thing.
No, it was the bell.
No, it's this. It's on like one click. I have like crazy sensitive hearing, so I can like hear shit that I shouldn't. But so we like sell all those stuff, and we're like, oh, Julie's like, oh, like we sold some flower crowns, right, for during like the like fall, spring, fall sort of
for Dionysus,
for like Dionysus and stuff like that, and we're like, oh, we'll do like some Yule flower crowns. That'd be a great idea, right? So we like get these Yule flower crown like supplies or whatever, and Julie found these like cute little strings of LED lights that are like USB charged or whatever. But because, and I don't like, if anybody knows the secret behind this, let me in, because I don't know what is going on with companies advertising shit and not giving you pertinent information about the stuff you're trying to buy. It is easily top 5 most like infuriating things ever to me. Yeah. Is like when you go, like when you're buying the worst is when you're buying a thing and it doesn't give you like its size. So you have to infer its dimensions relative to its package size listed down below because that's like legally required.
Like look at people's reviews.
I'm gonna tell you what, I've definitely bought a couple of like I've definitely bought like a wrench extension or like a long throw screwdriver or a pair of like needle nose pliers for like this one-off project I was doing. I'm just gonna do this, whatever, and I get the thing and then it's just like, well, it's like a centimeter or 2 short, right? Because like it doesn't want to like like tell you what it is like in the thing, you know. So that probably got rid of that.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yep, it did. See.
Oh, good.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, we just had a little bit of robot spam. It's okay. We gotta be nice to our robots, but we gotta chill with the spam on them.
Yeah, but when we bought these lights, they didn't say...
They didn't say, like, at all how long they were gonna last.
How long?
And, I mean, we were like, okay, if these last for, like, 30 minutes, then we're probably in, like a gangster space. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, 30 minutes, this is gonna be... like the cat's pajamas. We're like ready to rock and roll on this. So we decided to like set a timer and like turn them on, like after charging them up fully, set a timer and turn them on. And we actually had to do it across like 2 days.
A few days.
Yeah. Because it was like, we were just like, they're still not dimming. And then like only for the last like maybe 20 minutes did they dim. Then the rest of the time.
And that was after 13 hours.
Yeah, that was after 13 hours. So we claimed 10 because like whatever. But like, so they like super worked out, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it means that you don't have to, like, constantly charge them or whatever.
So, like, I'm definitely obsessed with light-up flower crowns right now. And for me, a flower crown is kind of, like, a bit of a devotional thing. Because, well, one, it's a little bit about, like, finding your style and being a follower of Aphrodite. One of the things that I have found has helped me with my own confidence and self-esteem is wearing things that I love and that I love the way that I look in them. So, not only do I love the thing, but I love the way it looks on me. And flower crowns are definitely that thing. And I don't particularly know why. It's just sort of happened. So over the last year, I have become absolutely obsessed with flower crowns.
It's true, she has.
And I basically have been incorporating them into my everyday life. That is my everyday life when I'm not at my 9-to-5 job. I still have yet to kind of figure out how I can like incorporate those into my 9-to-5.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just smaller crowns. Maybe it's clips. Maybe it's just like tiny clips and barrettes or something.
Berets? A bunch of tiny berets? Is this like pizzas on your pizzas thing?
They definitely would not let me wear a hat.
At work?
Yeah, no.
What? You don't got like sports guys wearing ball caps?
No.
That is shocking. I am shocked.
Yeah. Well, that's company dress code for you. So I've got this super rad Yule flower crown with the little power pack like hidden in it. And
it's like removable.
It's removable. I super love it.
It's super dope. It's super dope.
This is like the fifth winter flower crown that I've done, and this is the one that I think that I'm definitely keeping for me, because each of the previous ones,
even more than the like Christmas and Asphodel.
I just
said
think
Asphodel, like
probably gonna keep that one too, but
nice.
that one's like a nice like low-key one. This one's like big.
Yeah,
but it's like very princessy.
It's the flower's sort of like one of those lights for miners over here, trying to see in the caves.
Oh,
or
it
whatever.
is.
yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I definitely love it, and a lot of people compliment me on the flower crowns that I have, and I have a variety of them.
This is the thing. Everybody loves a good flower crown, right? Everybody wants a flower crown. Flower crowns are easily the coolest thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have a flower crown, wear a flower crown.
Yeah, why not, dude?
Right?
Like, especially if you are, like, looking for a way to, like, build your self-confidence, or if you're, like, a follower of Aphrodite or Flora or Persephone or any of those, like, spring goddesses or flower fertility goddesses, like, go for it. And if you're a dude, you can also wear a flower crown.
I wear a flower crown. You can also make flower crowns sans flower if you're so inclined, if you're not, like, flowery. Like,
it could be leafy.
Yeah, it could just be leafy. It could just be like ivy, or like, or just like
grape leaves,
grape leaves,
greenery,
or just like greenery.
Like, especially right now because it's like Christmas time, you can get like a bunch of like cool greenery that you can turn into a crown. And I know that in last year's live stream we had talked about like maybe doing a video on doing flower crowns, and we just have not had a chance to do that.
We are only just starting to have time this year, and it is the 11th of December. That is too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the emails were pushed off. Now they need to be done. Some of them will be taken care of in January. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
like
the
welcome to business. Welcome to business. Yeah, no, we had a fair few grand design going into our second season of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just because it's tradition, we've got a fair amount of grand design going into our third season of the podcast.
Yeah.
For year 3. Which we'll get into sort of like later in the live stream. You know, we're just getting started.
We're just warming up.
Yeah,
this booze, we just started drinking.
Yes. Yeah, we did just start drinking. I was like, I never just started drinking, but no, I did. Yeah. I was all not drinking.
But then you thought about it and you were like, oh, that is true.
Yeah, it's so shocking. It's so shocking. But it's because Dad was over earlier, so we were hanging out with him. And then after he left, I was like, oh, yeah, I have like a whole bunch of shop stuff I need to take care of real quick, because we had like some stuff that needed to be like rinsed and washed and all that kind of shenan or whatever. I'm working on my like lab coat. I love Rick's just like open lab coat vibe from Rick and Morty, because I love that show so much.
No.
And a lab coat is essentially just like a cloak with arms.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Less than you want it to be, but
more than you guys are thinking about it. You got to start thinking more crazy. I just love like long cloaks, and this is like thin, so I can like wear it around here. I say I can wear it around here, and in my mind, I am currently like, this could probably have its arms removed and be sleeveless, because not only do I love abolishing sleevery with malicious aforethought, but also it's warm. Everything is always warm. I mean, I was outside earlier in just like a t-shirt and a sarong, like rinsing stuff, and you were like, it's cold, I've got to go inside, and I'm just like, is it cold out here? Like, I'm not even doing a thing, and it's like,
not only was it cold, it was also like raining.
It was at best dripplet dropping a little bit. We weren't even at full permemphazine. It's not. Just a little bit of double cup, nothing big. I don't know what Dad was like. It's raining out here. I gotta get underneath the thing, and I'm just like, is it raining, or is this just fog sometimes condensing on your face in a place?
Big wet fog. We do get a lot of like big wet fog.
BWF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like I was kind of whatever about the whole rain and cold thing. Today was not that bad, especially compared to the last couple of days we've been having. We have been having some weather here. Let me tell you what. Some storms. The days have been like chilly and foggy, but like a little inviting to be able to like risk doing some stuff outside. And then the nights have just been like, it's dark, go inside. Yeah. There's a curfew.
Well, I mean, at the same time, we're also approaching the winter solstice, which is the darkest time of the year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Like, I
feel like it gets dark at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't. It's like 4.
Well, sunset is like
but still
4:45 or something right now.
Yeah, something
but like where we live, the sun goes behind the mountains like early.
And trees.
So like it's around 2 o'clock,
even high noon
starts
here is not
dark.
that bright. So
yeah, especially in the wintertime. And we're not even that far north either.
No. Like no. We're just surrounded by trees of a hugeness.
Yeah.
So that, whatever, that happens. Yeah, no, I think that, I think overall the weather's pretty chill here. It doesn't really get super cold, except for that one morning when I went outside and, we have an outside thermometer that, I don't know if I should trust.
I don't think that we should trust that anymore.
It feels, the outside thermometer, I think it's mounted, it's like a nice big thermometer, and it's mounted to like a big metal plate that's like screwed to the post. And it, I feel like the metal plate cools it too much.
Yeah, it always seems a little more cold.
It always seems to read colder than like reality supports. Because that one morning I went out and obviously shit wasn't like frozen. I mean, it was cold out. Do not get me wrong. But like stuff wasn't frozen up here or nothing. And it was reading 20 degrees.
Yeah, but also maybe it was that cold. I don't know. I don't know how humidity and extreme cold works.
Well, and obviously like stuff on the ground wouldn't freeze because we're like surrounded, like everything we step on is just like a web of tree roots. But
yeah, we live on the surface of the mycelial network. Yeah, the great redwood mycelial network.
Yeah. The mushrooms here, feroce. But
my gosh, yeah. And it's mushroom season right now.
And stuff. So there's a bunch of stuff. And there's still greenery in some places and such. We've got a lot of all year round alive plants. So they kind of raise the ambient temp or whatever. So maybe it was just air chill was 20 degrees or whatever. I mean, that morning I went outside and was like, damn with this. And then, looked at the temperature and saw that it was 20 or whatever. And then, chopped a bunch of wood to start a fire. Yeah. And I normally never get, my hands are, I'm pretty cool with my hands getting, mad cold. But, my hands were, red.
Yeah, they were
after,
you
10
came
minutes.
back in, and you were like a frost giant.
Yeah, I was very frosty. So, I mean, maybe it was actually that cold, but I don't know about that thermometer. It seems like a liar.
It probably is a liar. I feel like that stuff probably gets out of calibration too, but also I don't really know how that works. As far as I'm concerned, thermometers are magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are people that know how they work. It's not me. They're magic.
I'm gonna be real with you right now. Maybe 3 weeks ago, probably less than that. We literally watched a YouTube video, a 20-minute YouTube video about how thermometers work.
Oh well,
very specifically, how mercury thermometers do.
Nope, I was definitely not paying attention.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I was just it's magic. I'm done.
Yeah.
What's going on Instagram?
Check out.
Checked out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, it doesn't really get that cold up here.
No, it doesn't. And it's really nice because then, it's kind of more temperate. It also doesn't get super hot up here.
No. Although this summer tried.
Well, every summer it tries.
Yeah.
It's nice because it allows us to still do a lot of stuff outside. And I know that a lot of our magical practices are very nature intensive. Mm-hmm. So, there was a time where we had outside altars instead of inside altars when we first moved into this house. And
our altars were just outside. It was nice.
It was really nice, but the problem is in the wintertime when because it doesn't get that cold, it only rains here, it never snows, and we would get a lot of rain on those outside altars, and it just was not a great situation.
We got absolutely loving the crown.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just saw that pop up.
I just did it, and it's the best. I also absolutely love this crown.
Yeah, it turned out.
I feel very regal.
Awesome.
Queen
super
of
awesome.
Winter.
Yeah, lady of winter.
Lady of Winter.
Because we're can technically traditionally call ourselves.
Oh, that's right.
Lord
yeah,
and Lady
I am the
or what
Lady
have
of
you.
Winter. Yeah,
there you
because
go.
we're technically lords and lords.
Technically, Lord and Lady. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Right? Let me tell. Oh my God. Poor Dad. I probably talked his ear off about it, but I'm real spicy about it.
I know.
I'm real spicy that everybody on the internet it just doesn't seem to get what exactly is going on there.
We got one of those established titles things that makes us officially a lord and lady.
It allows us under old-timey Scottish traditions to use the term lord, laird or lady, lord, laird.
It's as official as I want it to be.
It's official enough, yeah. Who cares?
Can I go over there and be like, I am a lady, give me taxes on this land that you owe? Absolutely not. I think that it's mostly just people not reading.
Getting the
fine
concept of it's not even reading the fine print. You can read it, but that's all lawyer talk. That shit don't make no sense. Right? It doesn't, let's be real. No, but that's why nobody reads those. Have you ever read the terms and conditions? It's a nightmare. It's the most circular logic. Honestly, every time I see one of those, every time I pick out a bit, I'm just it sounds like I'm selling more than I'm trying to sell on this, but okay, right? But the whole structure of it, it's not that the lawyer speak terms and conditions is going to tell you exactly what's going on with established titles. Right? It will, but you still have to get the concept, and I think that's the problem, is that the very concept of established titles was just missed on a bunch of folks, right? Just there's that one guy who laid claim to the moon legally in the 70s or whatever, right? He's I'm the emperor of the moon, because nobody said that they owned the moon, and I filed a paper, so I'm officially the owner of the moon, or it's something insane like that, right? Maybe the guy was just doing a bit, to be honest, but it's that level of misunderstanding where they're just well, it sounds like you could buy a piece of moon property from this guy, and it's no. Not in real life, right? It's all a big, elaborate, funny facsimile, it's a gift card, it's just a modern, a shenan.
Well, I think a lot of people are also very certain that businesses are just trying to put one over on people at this point.
That's mad fair.
We were
we've been seeing some shenanigans.
Yeah, we were just talking about
businesses.
how sellers are misrepresenting products, aren't giving all of the information about products. I think it's
Oh, so fast! I will. If there are two tools, if I'm looking at most of the time I'm buying. let me be honest here. As a child, you go to a candy store and you go crazy about candy. As an adult, I want every single tool. Oh my God! I have $100 set of wrenches. It's just different kinds of pliers, right? It's crooked head pliers and they're speed pliers, and the kind of pliers that are only designed to do very specific electrical work, lineman's pliers kind of pliers and shit like that. I got $100 pack of those sitting in the wish list, just do I need these? No. Obviously, I've been doing fine with the one pair of garbage needle nose pliers that I've been using. I don't even have a set of side cutters or proper side cutters. I only have a set of end cutters that kind of are okay at cutting things. And most of the electrical work I've been doing, I got that nice electrical wire stripper wrench thingy, which is, oh my God, I've never owned one, and I got I was just if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right, and I got a nice one, and it's the coolest tool. But I use, if I'm cutting wire or something, I regularly use my Gunpla side cutters. right? Like when I'm building like Gundam models and like Star Trek models and shit, because those side cutters are the best tool I own.
Well, and you often are like, hey, if we got this tool, we could do this thing. And I'm just like, I don't care.
I love it. I'm mad into all of those things. I want all of the tools. In fact, I just recently, I didn't show Dad the satellite. So I kickstarted this thing where you like, they give you like a printed circuit board and you cut pieces of the circuit board out and then you solder it together with like solar panels and like LEDs and such, and it makes like a little model spaceship. Right, it's like a STEM arts and crafts thing that I found on Kickstarter, and so I kickstarted it, and I just got them in the mail. I have the James Webb Space Telescope, the JWST satellite, that one, which is like big and complex, and then I have the Solar Sail Test CubeSat satellite as a model. I have it just up there. That's why I keep pointing up. I built that. And the side cutters, the like little like cutters that came with the kit that I bought to work with this, like from the company, are less good than the $20 Gunpla side cutters that I have been using for years now.
Yeah.
Right? I went to go use them on a thing, and I saw the little like jaw part bend and was like, cool, gangster.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
Miranda asked what some of the future podcasts are that you guys get to look forward to. So we've got some pretty cool ideas.
Yeah.
So we've been doing the Sabbath podcasts, the Yule 101 and 102. We've done that for all of the Sabbaths like 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing for this year for the Sabbaths is we're going to be taking sort of one thing that's kind of interesting and adjacent to that Sabbath, and we're going to be talking about that. So for Yule, we're going to be talking about the Wild Hunt. Also, a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about with the Sabbaths has been very focused on like Celtic and like more like UK type Gaulish type of traditions, and I want to try to take time to focus a bit more on the more Norse traditions, more heathen side of things, and kind of uncover that sort of stuff.
Move a little bit more easterly and a little bit more southerly.
Yeah.
With regard to that, as well as like exploring. I mean, really, the idea here is to explore a very specific aspect of the like influence or connective tissue into those Sabbaths, right? I mean, like the Sabbaths that we have all have history, and like whether it's like, we've been practicing this for a super long time, or if it's just like, hey, recently Gerald Gardner invented this or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So they all have that connective tissue.
Yeah. So there's not like a lot that we can do for some of these things. However,
some of these Sabbaths are like, here's the tradition from the 70s. The rest of it,
like, let me tell you guys. When I was researching the Mabone podcast, what the Mabone 102 was that's one of the things that's actually been difficult with getting shows done this last summer. We've been very transparent about having a hard time because of having overfilled plates and burnout and our 9-to-5 jobs and
very busy. Let me tell you what, during the busy
busy
part of the summer, I was working too many hours.
Yeah, he was working 12-hour days at his day job, and I was working 12-hour, sometimes 14-hour days between my day job and our and the podcast and the Etsy shop.
Yeah, the Etsy shop.
Like, I mean, we've been really transparent about
the
that
Etsy
stuff.
shop picked up, but also.
But like some of these, like trying to get additional information on these Sabbats because they were created in the 70s for like these practitioners of Wicca. There's just like not a lot out there, and it was really difficult to try and find stuff. So I found that I was like really looking for like needles in haystacks. So what we're going to do this year is we're going to talk about something that is seasonal, that is adjacent to these Sabbats, and that is interesting. And I want to try to focus a little bit more on the heathen side of things, a little bit more on the Norse side of things. So that's what we're looking at for the Sabbats. But we're also going to start doing elemental magic series. So magic about so like fire magic, water magic, air magic, earth magic, spirit magic is. And spirit is kind of like an element, and that is something that we're going to get into, but that one is a bit on the complicated side of things.
Yeah.
But we're going to start doing elemental magic series, complete with spells, which is super, super exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very jazzed about that to kind of bring in some additional things. And we've got some deity deep dives coming up.
Obviously, deity deep dives, those are going to continue essentially forever, because I don't know that, like, even a once-a-week podcast, I don't know that there's enough time in a human life to go over all of the deities that exist and have existed, like, in, like, cultural conversation. Boy, humans, we love deities. Let me tell you. So there's so many to go over. So we are going over those.
So
we have a ton of those.
We've got Bastet and Artemis that we want to do.
Yeah.
There's also a variety of other deities like Freya. We already did Freya. But Fortuna, Horus, Odin, Hecate, Thoth are all ones that we have sort of like on the list.
We kind of did, but also didn't directly do Odin. Odin is like Odin's the big episode for me.
Yeah.
I have like obviously like a bunch of research and like study into Odin, Odin TM, the god, and whatnot. But Odin also brings up a lot of conversation, sort of like the way that Thor did, about like the way that Odin's been interpreted, like the weird connection that Odin has to like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? The whole like we could do a whole podcast just on the like Odin Santa connection. You know?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So,
hey, shh.
Yeah.
Don't talk about UL 104 yet.
Yeah, right? Nobody heard nothing. But like, no, I mean, so like we definitely want to get into like some of the prime gods is the way that I'm going to say that. That sounds like I'm being judgy or whatever. But like every goddom generally has some sort of a like top 1, top 3, top 5. You know how it was like Hades, Zeus, and Poseidon for the Greeks. Like they're the top 3. Everybody else, you can talk about everybody else, less stuff. And then you can talk about like their progenitors, like time and shit, and like less stuff. Right?
Yeah. We've also got another magic family tree, another Pantheon family tree coming up.
Yeah. We'll do at least one like Pantheon family tree a year. Those are like a little bit. We gotta really get those dialed in, right? Obviously, it's like conceptually easy to do because you've got like, you just have to talk a little bit about all 12 of these gods or whatever. But every group of gods has got like bonus gods that you have to go through and be like, do I want to trade this card in and lose a little bit of time, or do I not want to trade this card in? You know what I'm saying? Because some of the pantheons got spooky bonus gods all over the place,
especially the Greek pantheon. Oh man, when I was going through
we should do a Greek pantheon 102, and it's just like everybody we didn't talk about. Bonus gods only.
Oh my god, no.
Right?
No. That sounds like my American Horror Story hell.
It'd be so good. It's just all we would
reading lists forever.
The whole podcast would just be like this person's name. They were the god of specifically like grain, but when it's like a little too high and lean into the left a little bit,
the Egyptians also did that
and
too.
And then the next guy, and it would just be like an all lists episode.
Yeah. So we're either gonna do the Celtic pantheon or we're gonna do the Egyptian pantheon next.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that.
Good options.
Yeah. Another thing that that we have been wanting to do is kind of our like New Year's resolution of sorts is to read more. And I am remiss to try and do New Year's resolutions because they, for me, my personal New Year's is my birthday. So for me, Beltane is like the New Year's resolution time. And New Year's resolution in January, once you hit that like mid-September, early March doldrums, it's just out the friggin' window. But one of the things
I love setting New Year's resolutions, but I do not care about completing them. Deep down inside, to me, a New Year's resolution is like a weird capitalistic hellscape.
Yeah.
It's just capitalism run amok on society. It's like, oh, it's the new year. You want to buy a car. That's why all those car sales happen in like the beginning of the year. It's like, you want to save more money and buy a car and join a gym. Just give us money for this gym to be open. You know, because like, what is it? Like all gyms are 50% people who don't go into that gym paying to keep the doors open?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So one of the things that we want to do is read more, and we have a lot of magical texts, and we want to not only read those, but share our perspective and information about those. And we're definitely gonna do some videos about that. Like, I'm particularly really interested right now in like the way that ancient magic and drugs like marijuana and other hallucinogens sort of like took part in that sort of stuff. And I'm reading a great book, which I've been reading for like way too long. More than that.
I mean, it's bigger than that, but like that's the science guy who doesn't believe in none of that. Like, no woo-woo, all science, stoned ape theory.
Yeah, so we definitely want to do more of that. And Moon Buddy Fit asked if there's more magic and anime in our future.
Oh my god, so much.
So much.
Oh,
so much.
So much.
Magic and anime,
what I would like to inevitably get to a place in being is, I mean, like, obviously we'll still do, like magic and media during, what you call it? Pub chats.
Pub chats.
Yeah. During pub chats and stuff. But I also want to, when we run into it, this Yule Log channel that we're watching has commercials. I just noticed that.
It's very strange,
It's so weird. It's also not like a regular cable TV channel. It's part of whatever nightmare smart TV cable is. I don't know.
Is it a singular log.
I discovered this like 6 hours ago.
It is also not a singular
who knows?
log.
Yeah. It hasn't changed. It might be like one of them GIF loops, you know?
Oh, it probably is. Yeah. Well,
you heard Dan and I talking about like.
Yeah, but anyway, yes, we definitely have plans to do more magic and anime, and
like I think when we do those, they're not going to be like full podcast episodes, but they're going to be like a little bit review, large bit analysis of the like magical systems, the rules of the universe that are set forth, and how that does or does not compare it to our universe, and whether or not they follow their own rules. A thing that, as Julie can roll her eyes about me telling too often, annoys the ever-living shit out of me. It is my most like sacred thing. Is like, if you're going to develop a universe, don't break your own rules. I don't know who's making movies out there who thinks that this makes sense, but it doesn't. If you've established some shit, do that shit. Explore that shit. Don't just like throw it out the window because the plot needs you to. It's very annoying. But if a rule is broken, that sort of analysis, like sort of trying to really dive into the systems that are being built, like sort of in these magical universes. And I feel like anime does, or a lot of animes, I should say, do this in a very, very awesome way, right? There are a lot of really, really dope animes out there, both ones that are like kind of fantastical, like there is a magic system, as well as, and we should put this on the list. This might be a fun idea, is like watch something like Sword Art Online, which has a magical system, but that magical system is theoretically the rules of the game. Yeah. And like how people apply and adapt that magical system. Yeah. Right? Because when you think about it, functionally a magical system in a game is just like a very structured and programmed equivalent of magical systems in real life. Yeah. Right? And so kind of that like compare and contrast might be an interesting way to explore that. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of that sort of in-depth exploration on stuff. The books we're reading, like you're reading that what is it called?
Liber 420.
Liber 420, yeah, which is like really cool, and I'm excited to read that when
dense.
you're done. But it's a big lad.
Yeah. Well, and it's very. There's a lot. It's not only is it a thick book, but it's also like
large lad,
thick with
boy.
Info.
Yeah.
Like,
it's also like dense.
I read the first chapter. It was like 25 pages, and no, not even that. Like 11 pages, and I got like 5 pages of notes out of it.
Yeah.
Like all very interesting stuff. So that's some of the stuff that we want to do for Magic and Media. We started following this channel on YouTube called Roanoke Gaming, and I think that we are going to try to emulate a little bit of what he does because he does it so well. What he does is he originally started with video games and now does like movies and TV shows and stuff. But he,
super. If you're into it,
he like looks
awesome.
at and gives a brief synopsis of the movie,
the overall plot of the thing that he's talking about. Yeah.
And then he gives his opinion on like what that looks like kind of like in real life. So like if you're looking at a zombie movie, for instance, he'll be like how the zombies are able to be zombies in 28 days later. And he looks at it because he is a microbiologist who has a huge amount of biology experience that he's bringing to it. So we're basically thinking of doing that sort of thing, but with magic, because that's
from
our
the like
forte.
mystical standpoint or whatever. So Miranda asks, are any future plans for going over the blots? Yeah, I mean that is that like sort of doing an analysis of the blots is sort of what led us to the plans for what we want to do for the 103s.
Yeah, so when we can, our 103s are going to have to do with the Norse things of the blots, although in some cases, like with Yule, we've already talked a lot about like what the blots kind of can look like.
Yule is just like stolen.
Yeah,
so Yule is different. Yule is like, hey, what's this? I like this. Is mine now.
Yeah, so for the Sabbats, we're going to be looking more for the blots, the Norse pantheon type of way that they are celebrating it. That's going to be like the main priority.
Well, and the differences. So like some of the blots just truly don't even align with what the like Sabbat, like the like modern Sabbat is for that. And so we're going to look at the differences, because there are times when we're like when we're putting together a ritual, right? And when we do rituals, we don't like fully merge them. It's mostly just because that's like a shitload of work. So what we do is like Julie starts the ritual, right? And she does like
because he has no idea how to cast
the opening. I don't do that. I'm all ghosts. Oops, all ghosts to this guy. It's fine, whatever. Be a supervillain. So yeah, that's just like not a thing that I do, but like that important for her practice. So like she should do the first thing because the circle is the first thing. It makes sense.
It is.
So she like opens the thing. She starts the ritual. And then, like, does the beginning bit of hers. And then we generally find a place where it logically makes sense to, like, transition. And then we would transition into, like, my bits of the ritual. Which is, because, like, for my ritual, it mostly just kind of starts with, like, thanking a bunch of people and being like, what's up? Let's party. So it's, like, a very different... I'm not like, let's put up circles or say some shit to some directions. I'm just like, what's up? Y'all are gangster. Let's party, and then we talk about the party, and then we get out of the party. It's a very different way to do ritual work. So I do my like weird little party psycho shit in the middle, and then she like closes it and like make sure that people are like gangster, but like go away if you sketch. You know, she does like the whole. She's the responsible adult one in the ritual and in real life. Look at that, it works out.
Yeah, we've also thought about recording our Sabbats, our blots that we do, and having those available either for Patreon or on YouTube as kind of like a special edition.
Yeah.
And also like we would love to hear from you guys as the audience for like what it is that you want to do, and we want to really kind of focus on that a little bit more this year, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to start live streaming our pub chat recordings and basically using those. So having it be a little bit more interactive, a little bit more like this every time we do a pub chat, and sort of allow for that greater discourse and really to be able to build like this greater community. And also Moonbunny Fit ReZero.
Yeah.
Yes, the magic in that is crazy.
That is a very good example of a complex magical system that definitely needs like
I will
a deep analysis. So
add that to the list.
That'll go on the list. That's a great one. We've got some Team Circle over here with Alexa. I get it, right? Like I played Magic the Gathering Circle Protection. That is a powerful and unkind card to play.
Well, regardless
if you got the right
from the
one,
protection side of things, casting the circle is a great way to like get into like the headspace of it.
Sure.
It's like it's a good way to be like in the mood and in the zone, and also you're protecting yourself.
TV just like turned off randomly. Okay, gangster.
It's
It's just doing like a thing. It's fine. The TV's a complex lady. So yeah, no, I get it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just not a thing at all for me.
Well, we do magic in a very different way.
We do like very different. It's funny because like we generally practice stuff like together very often. Or like technically not together, but like side by side. Oh, different fire this time.
Oh, still not a single log though.
Yeah, still not one log,
Multiple
but different
logs.
fire. And so we do stuff pretty close together, like both physically and like time wise. But every once in a while we'll be talking about something, and Julie will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this thing," and I'm like, "What is?" This is so complicated. None of this, right? Or I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this thing," and she's like, "Why? What is this? What are you doing?" We kind of do like very distinctly separate things, and I think for me, it's like a real fair example that like you don't need to like be in the same magical practice to still do magic together. It's like a thing that I feel. If people were awesome is the solution to most of our problems, right? It's like, hey, I can do my thing and you can do your thing, and that doesn't affect either of us.
Well, and when we do something together, we often do basically the same thing that you were describing with the rituals, is where like one of us starts it and then the other person picks it up and then the other person takes it. Yeah. So that's like very common for us. And like Alexa, absolutely, it is more than just a circle. It is also setting intention in your space. But like for me, I am actually pretty lax about casting circles because I sort of keep like a magical circle of protection round our place.
Yeah, oops, always
in general, always, and then just like whatever is up in this space. Like for any of you that have physically been to our house, like we just let the Fae kind of do whatever they're gonna do.
I mean, I got like protection runes all over the place. We got that one. Remember that like. I just like went down the hill and like made a rune out of a bunch of sticks and just like planted it in the ground. That shit's down there. Every once in a while it gets knocked over randomly. You just put it back up. And I've got like runes. I got stuff carved all over the property and like, either carved or honestly, you know what? When you're hanging sheetrock, patching a thing, put a little rune on the backside of the sheetrock, put that in there, patch that hole.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Leave that as a present for somebody later on.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you what. In 1,000 years when they demolish this house or whatever, they're going to be like, there's like a bunch of writing behind the walls here. Yeah. There's a bunch of weird shit going on in this house. That's not for me to deal with. That's for them to deal with. Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't really do our magic in the same way, at all.
No. I mean, she got me into tarot cards, and now maybe I have more tarot cards than you. I have a wee problem with tarot cards.
And Kickstarter.
Well, it's mostly Kickstarter's fault. I will agree that it is mostly Kickstarter's fault.
The problem is not Kickstarter's fault
at all.
The problem is that there are too many good artists out there doing too many great things. Yeah, that's what it is. It's really just like genuinely every time it's like, oh my god, look at this art. I want this art. And then you go to Kickstart it and these people, they know how to get you, right? I'm like, oh man, I love this art. I want this tarot deck. From our latest tarot deck. Yeah. It's like a little wheel.
Yeah, that's dope.
Oh no, that's not the wheel. That's not the latest. That's one
that's from the one time before.
Yeah, the time before.
The time before latest. No questions. So no, like we do that, but like a lot of the tarot decks that I own, it's like you can buy one tarot deck, reasonable money. You can buy one tarot deck and a bunch of art and shenanigans unreasonable amount of money. I mean, like, it's a reasonable amount. It's unreasonable for me to be spending it. And then I go, I'm going to do that. So like, I mean, that French Lovecraftian tarot deck I have 2 decks from the same set. In fact, I have 3 decks that are like 2 decks from the same set, and 1 deck that I bought all 3 decks they made. One deck is like different and special and completes the story, and then the other 2 decks are the exact same deck with slightly different translations, and it's because one is like green and one is like burgundy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So like I've got like that kind of deck. So that's really the reason why, is that like I'm always like, I want the art, and they're like, if you want the art to hang on your wall, then you're also going to need a couple of these tarot decks, and you're like, yeah.
Well, and we're not really buying the art to put on our wall. We just want the art.
I just want the art for all over the place. I mean, we do have the hall of art.
We do have,
and not even everything's up there. It's like a small proportion of things are up there. We had more. Why did we take a bunch of that stuff down?
Most of it were the Book of Shadows pages.
Oh, we took them down to put them in the Book of Shadows.
To put them into a Book of Shadows, yeah. We've also thought about taking the Patreon Book of Shadows pages and turning them into a book that you can purchase.
Yeah, we're at this is episode 47.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously I'm still like 4 or 5 episodes behind. It's happening, don't worry. And we have
we've been sick twice in 3 weeks. Yeah. So
it's been the beginning of this holiday season has been like holly jolly sickness. So that was
and it's not even just that we've both been sick twice in 3 weeks. It's you got sick, got better, and then I got what you had, and then I was sick, and then there was a couple of days in between after I got better.
We had like 2 days
that
of health,
we were both fine,
and then
you got sick again, and then got over it, and then I got
I didn't really leave the house. I just got like surprise sick. It was a nightmare.
Well, one was a holiday gathering, and the other one was just like doing errands.
Yeah, just like an errands.
Yeah.
And then it got me a little bit of a flu. But,
oh, Alexa!
Yeah.
The only reason we own a printer is because of our Etsy shop.
Yeah.
If you need to use it, we got you.
Yeah, we've got a printer. It's not doing anything most of the time. So,
No, we've thought about getting them like, nicely printed.
Yeah.
In
a
variety of ways.
that's what I'm saying. So like we're at episode 47. I figured like probably at episode 100.
Or we do them small and one for each year.
I mean, 100 is a small number of pages to print.
No, I mean, or we do them extra small and then it's
one for like each year. Zine style.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we could look at doing that. When I worked at the brewery, I was involved with a lot of I worked with like a lot of local print houses. So when we do that, we'll probably end up going to them and just paying that cost sort of.
See, one per year.
Yeah, one per year. Okay.
One vote, one per year.
One per year. All right. Yeah. It's gonna make 2022 real judgy, but that's fine.
I mean,
okay, yeah. Let me I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to like when we first started, we weren't doing Book of Shadows pages, and I think I have like
you still have some older ones to do.
4 or 5, maybe 6 to do. That kind of thing. Yeah, Vistaprint's who we normally use.
Yeah.
For like business cards and stickers. We just got one per 2 years. That's fair, maybe. We just got stickers we're selling, what is that called? Thread conditioner.
Yeah.
And we just got stickers for those, and they turned out fantastic. We oh man.
With like a
so let down.
Fluby.
So I bought like this like round stickers paper to use in the printer, because we have like a nice printer.
Oh,
right?
A Hades collection. See, I'm thinking collection 1, collection 2.
No.
It's like a yearbook.
I get it. Yeah, like a yearbook.
Like a yearbook. Yeah.
But so we bought stickers, right? Like printable stickers, and we put them in the printer to use them, and it just didn't work. The printer didn't want to print on them. It was a nightmare. Whatever. Like A couple of days later, we go to print something. The printer won't print anything. It won't feed paper. I have the print. It's like 10:30 at night, and I have the printer like all the way open, fully untransformed.
We are ready to get up early next day to go buy a printer in town.
We had like 6 orders we had to fill the next day.
Yeah.
Right. I'm Googling like what's the best laser printer? Like F this printer, I'm gonna replace it. Right. Bloody, getting it dialed in, whatever. I'm finally able to like force a piece of paper through it to print, and this motherfucker comes out with a whole ass flower on it.
Like a physical
whole
bud from a flower.
3-dimensional flower. We get what are those called? Hay flowers?
Straw flowers.
Straw flowers.
Yeah.
We get these straw flowers from our like local
Oh my god,
guy.
we've been meaning to throw them out too, and we have not thrown them out, and they're just sitting there menacingly above
they're
the
just
printer.
judging our fucking printer over there next to the thing. Because they don't like lose color, and they like stay looking beautiful for like how long, because they're like dry or whatever. Or they dry or whatever. And
in the springtime, I plan on making flower crowns out of those.
Yeah. Oh, they're beautiful. No, they're awesome. They're so cool. But like a bit of it had fallen off into the printer and like crashed the printer. And until I got it out, we were like, it's a nightmare. But really, other than like Etsy shop stuff, we don't do nothing. We kind of do everything through Vistaprint because it's just easier.
Yeah.
And also, they respond to my emails when they do something not gangster.
Yeah.
We had like one sticker misprint with them last year, or this year actually, early at the beginning of this year. We had like we ordered like a bunch of stickers, and like one of the stickers was just like not lined up or whatever, and I emailed them like, hey, the sticker's not aligned, and like I look at the preview and the preview's aligned, like what's going on? And the guy was just like, our bad, dog. New ones are in the mail. Don't even worry. So like they're cool, dude. I love working with them about that stuff.
Yeah.
So
so we're looking at doing
the low limit is too low locally, then we'll go to Vistaprint.
Yeah.
But I always try and do that shit locally.
Yeah, we're looking at doing like little printed booklets for those. We've thought about putting together a book of just spells. Like I've literally thought about like writing an actual book.
Yeah.
Like
what we are definitely thinking of doing in the like super small scale.
Oh my god, if we wrote an actual book, we could use our titles, Lord and Lady.
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah, we're doing books. We're starting a cult. It's fine.
Do peace.
Yeah, do peace.
Yeah.
But what we're thinking of doing in the small scale is there's like a bunch of there's like a bunch of people that we've seen do something similar, and like companies do something similar where they do like a tiny zine for each blot or sabbat.
Yeah.
That has like it's like a ritual like book or whatever. So we're thinking of designing a little like ritual book for each one of the sabbats and then selling them in like a little pack.
Oh,
like,
with
here's
blank
the
line pages at the end too.
Yeah. Yes. Blank pages in a ritual book is the sauce, dude.
Yeah, and Miranda, you mentioned doing a book of correspondences. It's funny that you mentioned that because not only would that be super cool, but we've actually thought about ways to try to put the correspondence list that I have available online. And that's something that we're trying to figure out. Because the thing is I'm always updating it. So doing it as a book is great. But because I'm always updating it, like, because every time I do research for an episode or research for something just in general, I will find and then revise things or add things, because a lot of the correspondences that we have are based off of a lot of the correspondences that I have are based off of modern Wicca practices, Celtic magic, and a little bit of like hoodoo voodoo in there, like so Appalachian
like a
kind of like
stuff
southern, like Southeast American type of magic. So there's a lot of stuff that I add in and revise. So the problem with that is I would have to do like a big revision, like all the time. So we've thought about ways to try to have it online, and we're just like not really sure what that looks like yet.
I know how to build the database, but I want it to be more than just a big list, because a big list is sort of like not very. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I know you're trying to read.
Yeah, a correspondences. Oh, a Wheel of the Year book. Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
That's a good idea.
We've thought about that. I've actually been working on embroidery patterns to do like devotional, like Wheel of the Year embroidery, and we have some ideas for some
Divinational?
No, devotional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we also have some ideas for like kits that you can do for witchy stuff.
Yeah, like altar cloth kits
like,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, like altar cloth
that's
kits
gonna be
to
cool.
make and personalize your own things.
Yeah. To physically stitch. Again, it's that it's because I'm real Norse about stuff, but it's like stitching in the like runes or name or like bits to an altar cloth so as to like weave the connective like logic in there or what have you.
And as
so
well
we're
as
looking at
adding
stuff
in
like
intention.
that.
Basically taking the idea the ideas that we talked about with Kitchen Witchery, both 101 and 102, where anything you make can be magically imbued, like food-wise, like anything you make physically can be magically imbued.
Yeah.
And because we do a lot of crafts, I do a lot of sewing, we talk about this often, a lot of the flower crowns, like you can imbue that stuff with that energy, and those are kind of some of the kits that we're thinking about. We see a lot of like shops out there that offer like spell kits that are like some chips of like
it's like a little bit of stuff
like some crystal
in like
chips and like some herbs and you put it in like a little jar or whatever, and we're not hating on that at all. Those are absolutely great ways to
awesome
do it.
Way to do it.
It's really cool, but there's a lot of people doing it, and it's not that we won't do it because other people aren't doing it, but it's more like, well, what can we offer that's different? And that's one of the ways.
Well, and what can we do in the space that we already sort of work within, which is like a lot of color stuff, you know, like dyeing and stuff like that, because I'm a weird color wizard and I didn't know it. So like that's definitely something that we're looking at doing. Again, on the Correspondences website, like this is a thing that will happen. This isn't like we're definitely gonna do this. It is simply not. What I want is a bit more. It's a bit more of an asshole move than just a big list. Big list, very useful, searchable, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we might do that as like a beta version of the site beforehand. But what I want is something that not only gives you like the thing and the correspondence and the things, but like allows you to like functionally be like, I just want to look at all of the Norse correspondences. Or I want to look at look at
everything that's love magic.
Yeah, everything that's love magic. Something that's a little bit more like interactive, and like I've done databasing, but that was a while ago that I did create your own database. Like I know how to do it, but it's not a piece of cake. So I'm just getting back into it slowly while Julie's continuing to like gather correspondence supplies, as it were. Yeah.
And articles. Oh, that's an interesting way to do it. Articles be useful, like what is from what tradition. The thing is like that is helpful.
Yeah. Well, and having sources, I would love to be able to link sources.
Oh boy, that is an absolute nightmare, and that is not happening. No.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do that. Anything can happen. The database, it'll get so big.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we'll have AI.
I have sources available for the stuff the research that I do for the podcasts, but finding sources for correspondences is like an absolute.
I mean, grade A sources. Like when you have like a thing that's like, oh, this is like this information can be found in like a book. An ISBN number source is like probably the most efficient.
That is an
ISBN?
absolute nightmare to do. Yes, it is ISBN.
Yeah.
No, sources for correspondences is an absolute.
Well, it's because they're everywhere, right?
It's because they're everywhere.
The same thing is everything. But if you got like a one-off, it's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also
nice.
don't.
I do want to get into like writing proper like articles about this stuff.
Yeah.
And like potentially doing something a little bit bigger in that. Again, this is one of those like as we're digging into like a lot of the reading and stuff. We just recently got like 4 whole new magical texts. I'm still going through the last one. The one that I'm currently going through is on like Jotun from Norse mythology and like kind of the old practices around them and what like they mean and stuff. It's really good and just dense like a dying star dense.
Yeah.
So
all the magical texts tend to really be that way. So we're planning on doing, stuff with that. So correspondences, we got plans there. We got long-term plans there. But it's a matter of figuring out what works best to arrange them in a way that's helpful, but trying to cite sources on that is just absolutely not going to happen. No. Yeah. Because I already don't have sources for a lot of the stuff that I have, but also like a lot of these correspondences
is that like everything has to have everything.
Yeah.
Right? It's that there's the categorical option of adding those things.
Yeah.
That's the secret to making a good database. Let me tell you what is putting shit in that database, categories in that database, connective logic in that database, what with you don't technically have anything for yet, but you're definitely going to need in 3 to 5 years. Less wise, you have to do it again, which is, let me tell you what, I've had a great many databases in my life. I was one of those kids that built like a database where it was magic cards and shit. I'm a nerd.
Of course you did.
For obvious, right? And I remember like I had for a brief period of time, I had like built a database for my comic books. Right when I like first got back into comic books in my 20s, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna like build a database for my comic books. And so I built one, and then I started getting some more comics and like buying classics, and I realized that I just like didn't have enough extra shit.
Yeah.
So things were starting to get kind of like lost in the database, as it were. They were kind of starting to go gray. And so I had to like I just like gave up. I was like, all right, I can't keep constantly updating a whole database. It changes like a bunch of shit. You got to make sure everything works. Sometimes it crashes. And so I just gave up and paid money and bought somebody else's databasing software.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just going to use yours. It's better.
Maybe that's the long-term thing for us too.
So,
but, finding information for correspondences is really interesting because there's not like a place that you can go to. Like there have been other people that have put out books about correspondences and like what they are and all that other kind of stuff, and they're generally very themed, and like they're great, but at the same time like it can be difficult because like what does that like what about like Native American culture? Like, what did the Pomo Indians see that redwood meant to them?
Yeah.
Or, whatever, that kind of thing. That kind of thing is difficult. But also, like, I don't use, if one person was like, I use hot glue for love magic, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make sense at all. But, like, if I see other people talking about this, I'm like, okay. Like, I need to, like, sit
and I need to see the connective tissue there. It's gross.
It just came right off. It just came right off the top of my head.
About the suggestion.
It just came right off the top of my head. But like if I see like a couple of people saying something like that, then because if it's a one-off, it's a one-off, right? But if I see multiple people saying something, then I'm like, okay, I need to like backtrack this a little bit. Yeah. Like, what is this similar to? Are there similarities there? Yeah. Can I find this located in something in like a book? Can I find this located somewhere else? Yeah. And like I'm gonna like take some time and like meditate on it to sort of like see, like how I feel about it. But like one of the things that's really the most interesting about correspondences for me is I have this very wide dichotomy where I will do all the research for the correspondences. And by the way, if you need some correspondence information, I am more than happy to parse through my databases. Hit us up with a message. Hit us up. Let us know.
Be like, I'm looking for a correspondence for this thing. Boobity boop.
Yeah,
because
like
she has a pretty complex database right now. It's just like a big ass list.
Yeah,
and big
I
ass
just have to do the work for it. Yeah, I just have to do the work for it.
Yeah,
but like I'm absolutely willing to do that for people. But so I am like also I'm very into the correspondences. Like when I want to do like a spell jar or something, I will take literally hours as part of my process for doing this spell jar or just a spell in general to look at the correspondence for everything that's marked love magic. And then I look at, okay, well, this is the stuff that I definitely have. And then, okay, well, it's not just love magic, it's also like self-confidence because I want to do like a self-love thing. And then I look at everything that's confidence. And then it's like, okay, I also want this to be a successful spell. So then I look at everything that's success. And then I'll be like, okay, I also want some enhancers, some things to enhance this spell. And I also look at all of that stuff. So I look at like a really wide variety of stuff for spells, but also sometimes I don't do that literally at all. and I do more of a chaos magic thing where I'm just like, blah, with my hands around something and just imagining the energy that I want to fill the item that I'm doing the thing on, and then that's it. So sometimes I go very deep with correspondences, sometimes not at all.
Oh yeah, I'm just listen. My spell jars, absolute fucking chaos. Absolute chaos. I'm just putting stuff in it, just doing a thing. I made one earlier this year, like a little one. We like forever ago, we did a party where people were making like tiny spell jars, and
it was Yule. It was our first Yule in this house.
We bought
we let people take ashes from the
tiny
Yule log.
jars. Yeah,
oh my god,
we bought like
tiny jars.
8 billion tiny jars, and so we still have like 799 billion of them. Because 20 people came to the party. We have so many of these fucking jars, and I feel like I've been using them for shit for a very long time.
Yeah. No,
right? It's not like we're saving them. We just have so fucking many of these things. And every once in a while, I'll just be like, I'm gonna put like a bunch of shit in this jar and see what happens. And that's exactly what I do, right? We have a rock tumbler, nerd. And so we tumble our own rocks, but throughout the process, I like to like inspect the rocks. And like if it looks dope, even though it's not like fully tumbled or whatever, I pull it out. But that also means that I get to pull out like little weird bits. So I have a bunch of little weird bits, which are perfect for putting in these. These jars are like itty bitty, dude. They're like 2 inches, not even inch and a half. Like tiny little jars. So they're perfect for those tiny like scrap rocks. And sometimes I'm just like scrap rock, a little bit of water or something else, and like. We've got alcohol dyes. We've got what's that tiny glitter called?
Mica.
We got mica. We've got whole like big glitter. We got We got like weird PVC painted balls that just like float in water. Nice. I don't. They're just for resin stuff or whatever. So like we've got all these craft supplies, and every once in a while I'm just like, I'm gonna put a bunch of shit in a jar. Put it on my altar. Sometimes I look up what that shit means. Sometimes it's just whatever that jar needed to jar. So yeah. But I'm also way less clearly, right, with the circle thing. Like I'm way less organized.
I was going to say structured, but
There's structure. It's just slapdash structure.
It is slapdashery. Yes.
Yeah. It's just post-apocalypse up in here. All chaos, the structures. Why do you need that? Why do you need that thing bolted to that other thing? Fucking cares. Rock and roll. Yeah. That's just the way that I approach kind of everything.
Yeah.
So, real just like kind of whatever about that stuff. But, we do like, obviously we do like a bunch of the spell jar things. And, what was I going to say? We also do like other spell craft stuff. Like you make those trees.
Oh, it's actually a spell jar. So
there's a jar under that tree, huh?
Yeah.
Oh!
So this is my business success spell jar for our Etsy shop.
How dope is this jar?
And really what it is this is like, look, see, I'm pulling off of a bunch of different stuff.
It is the Thunderdome of structure. That's right. Yeah.
It is.
It holds shit together, but it's just real bloody inside there.
So this is an Underberg bottle, and Underberg is a bitters, and they have these like cool little like tiny bottles. They're great for spell jar stuff. And
they're great for spell jars. They're good for your gut. Like if you're drinking a bunch or you're eating a bunch of like sausage, if you're doing a bunch of German shit food drink-wise.
So for this particular spell jar, I initially filled it with a bunch of like chips of like gemstone chips and herbs and like variety of stuff.
Corn chips,
banana chips, all the chips. Plantain chips. And because I was thinking about it and like, okay, well, I want our business to grow and be stable, so like a tree. So I'm gonna have it grow like a tree. So every time I do this spell jar again, because one of the things that I have found in my practice about spell jars is that they eventually sort of the magic peters out, and they either have to be recharged or they have to be basically thrown out and do another one. So rather than throwing it out and doing something new, I decided to build on it. So every time I build on this spell jar, the tree gets bigger. I add a layer. Yeah. And
this tree's gonna be
so I'm not adding a layer to the inside of the jar, so all the stuff that would be on the inside of the jar ends up being hung on the tree branches. So I have a bunch of stuff for like abundance and, you know, all success and enhancing in these jars. And this last time in particular, I was like, I do want to put some herbs in this, so I'm going to attach a jar to this branch, so there's like a jar hanging from the top like an ornament. So it just gets bigger every time. Yeah. So every time I recharge this jar, whenever I feel it needs recharging, which I feel like it's about ready time to recharge again, I'm just gonna cut some more wire, grab some more doodads, and it's going to be an even bigger tree than it was last. Yeah. And I'm just going to continue to make it bigger and bigger until it's this big, weird tree.
It's going to be attached to like wood bits. Oh, it's going to be like a whole big weird thing. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so like that's a really interesting way that you can do like a spell jar, particularly for something that you want to persist and grow. For us, it just happens to be this is for business success. Like you could do it for anything and, you know, continue to grow on it.
Yeah.
And that's just a way that you can sort of add and infuse that magic into it. And every time I look at it, it charges it a little bit more. And every time I, you know, do the thing, it charges it a little bit more. So it's a way that you can use that. That's a little bit different than like add stuff to jar, seal jar, jar is done, get rid of jar.
Yeah. I melt a candle onto the top of my I also use Underberg bottles. They're like the perfect spell jars. Let me tell you, look into it. They're so cool, and also I never want this company to fail because I drink a bunch. It helps.
Yeah, so Underberg is the word under and then berg, but it's all together, and it's a bitters that you drink after a meal to help you digest it better. It tastes like it tastes like licorice fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say licorice and chaos. So yeah, fair.
Licorice
totally
and chaos.
Fair.
It is not for the faint of heart, but tell you what, it will settle your stomach no matter what you've got going on.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It works. It's awesome. They got adorable bottles and like a bunch of accoutrements. They're a cool company. I super love them. But we get these like thin red candles from our local Asia Mart. That's the name of it.
We actually get a lot of our supplies from the local Asia Mart. We get candles from there.
Good candle selection.
Good incense comes from there.
Great incense.
Lots
I'm still
of tiny
working on that
little
box.
bowls.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got so much cool stuff. And so I get these like little thin red candles from them because it's like a good brick of them. And they're also like almost the exact diameter of the top of an Underberg jar. So you just like torch the bottom of the candle and stick it on top of the jar. And as you burn the candle, because the candles don't like, you know, they like drip, you know, like a old style candle used to. And so it like runs down the jar. It works perfectly. Yeah. And I have the jar set. I have it held in place with rough amethyst in like a nice dish that I have. Yeah. A nice pewter dish. Devil Jaeger. Kinda, yeah. Yeah. Kinda, yeah. So I do that with spell jars, but then sometimes also no jar in the spell. Yeah, let me tell you, if I find a nice rock or bit of wood, I'm just gonna wax shit to it.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. We had, we had like a pumpkin that when...
The pumpkin stem was a gift from the Fae for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we had like a bunch of pumpkins and they all went dead or whatever, so we got rid of them. And then like one day I'm doing something outside and I'm just like, what is this on the ground? And it's like a pumpkin stem. Like a completely without moisture, sans moisture pumpkin stem. Which was awesome and insane. So I was like, all right, well, this is for me. And we have an old salt lamp that... The original light was fine, but incandescent, so it like used a bunch of power. A bunch. I mean, it used a bunch from my perspective. And like generated heat, and I was kind of like whatever. It was like kind of yellowy or whatever. So I decided to replace that light with an LED light, and that light was, I don't know, whatever, as bright as 12 stars. It was too bright. It was fucking upsetting.
Yeah, it was too bright.
This salt lamp was an offense to the senses. So it was so bright that it was not worth the energy. So I just like took the lamp part out, and for most of the last year, it's just had like desiccated pumpkin stem waxed to it. I just use like beeswax or candle wax or whatever because I have an inordinate amount of wax in the house, and because I make candles. And so I just waxed it to it, and I just had like a weird salt pumpkin for like most of the year.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so I'll do like that kind of shit, or like I have like a nice flat rock that I found one time. And so I just like wax other rocks and bits to it. And the best part about wax is that because it's like a bit pliable, you can always like jam an incense into it to make it turn it into an incense holder on the fly or some nonsense like that. Then if something gets loose, you just hit it with a torch, put it back down, you know, hard instantly. So,
yeah.
You know, but yeah. What time is it? Oof. It is almost 6:30, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be wrapping it up a bit shortly now here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wrap it up a bit shortly now here. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out.
Yeah, this has been super fun.
I hope you got like a glimpse amongst the chaos and rambling of like what 2023 is going to look like.
Yeah.
I had to think about what year it was.
And a little bit more about us.
Yeah, and like our practices and stuff like that. And what we're trying to do is like in this coming year, we're trying to do like more of that shit.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Yeah. So we look forward to taking this adventure with all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you
guys
for
are awesome.
being
You guys are
there.
awesome.
And thank you for just being you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next year will be fun. And we plan on doing a lot more. So be prepared for more of this over here.
All of this.
All of this. So that's for y'all. Either way, we'll do a sign off for the podcast because I'm gonna have to extract this bloody video and turn it into a free and audio or whatever. Either way, I have been John Norgrove. This has been Julie Norgrove. This has been the Horn
and Cauldron
Podcast, and we will catch you guys next time. Stay magical, folks.
Yeah, and don't forget, breathe in self-confidence and breathe out self-doubt.